right. Well, this week, week four, for the Essentials of Wellness program, we're talking about exercise and kind of the basics of exercise. So we will be discussing the FIT principle. We'll also be then real quick touching on aerobic exercise and then resistance exercise. There's many different types of exercise, whether it's a specific, exercise like squats or burpees or whatnot. But then exercise as a whole can get quite expansive, with different types of exercise within cardio or different types of resistance training. All are kind of all work together in order to help you achieve your goal. If it's weight loss, if it's just burning calories, maintaining weight, maybe you're wanting to gain weight, put on more muscle, they all work together. But it is good to know, what there is out there in some facets that you'll learn today. And then also how to organize and build your schedule. And this is kind of a good follow-up to what we talked about last week with the whole time management aspect. So one thing I do want to note before I move on to the next slide, and a little video that I created from a couple of years ago. I encourage everyone on our Healthier Together Yammer page. There's been one individual, I believe her name is Teresa, who's been very active in our Healthier Together Yammer community and really sharing her joys, her positives, her even some challenges that have come up for her, and just creating conversation. So I encourage you to check that out. Find those threads each week and maybe join the conversation. It's just been great. And I applaud Teresa for doing that, for, posting and sharing some of her stories week to week, which has gotten some good traction, some good engagement from people who are in the Essentials of Wellness program, but also from those that are just other Medtronic, members, employees who are utilizing her posts and her stories as words of encouragement to start, doing things for themselves as well. So yeah, join that Yammer community, Healthier Together, and join the conversations if you'd like. So as I mentioned, I do have a video that I want to share for the next about 7 minutes. One that I have done from a previous transformation challenge a couple years ago, but it's such good content, and it really helps describe the FIT principle, and that's kind of the focus on it within, but also sharing aerobic training and resistance training. So let's get into that. Continue this transformation journey. 4 components will help you build a well-rounded training program: frequency, intensity, time, and type of workout. Within the FIT principle, aerobic and resistance training will differ within each aspect. As we talk about each component, refer back to your weekly workout schedule and ask yourself, what would I change about my schedule to create balance? The first component is frequency. How many days per week are you exercising? Frequency will be slightly different person to person and between aerobic training and resistance training. For beginners or someone just starting out, 3 to 4 days per week of aerobic training is a good place to start. Optimally, we'd like to have 5 to 6 days per week. Resistance training for beginners or individuals looking to maintain their current strength, the goal is 1 to 2 times per week. For more improvement in strength, you should shoot for 3 to 5 times per week. Be mindful of where you are at with your fitness level. Starting too much too soon could adversely affect your consistency in your weekly workouts. There is no problem with easing into a schedule, listening to your body as it adapts, then adding more days per week to progress. While the workouts themselves are pivotal to progress, your rest days between workouts is when your body gets stronger as it recovers. Even small breaks during a workout can help you get the most out of your workout and prevent injury. Don't skip rest days. Make sure you incorporate rest days into your schedule to help you with staying recharged and consistent with your workout schedule. Allow yourself at least 24 hours between resistance training days when training the entire body. For aerobic training, the body needs at least 1 day of rest or recovery, such as a walk or gentle bike ride each week.
You can reap the benefits of physical activity at any intensity as long as it progressively increases your fitness level. A big thing I like to preach is not every workout has to completely fatigue you. There's a time and a place for that kind of workout, but you want to feel challenged, not completely spent after every workout. Rest and recovery days are essential to the progress your body can make. During your resistance training days, your intensity is based on the load or weight you use during sets and repetitions. Typically, the greater the load, the fewer repetitions performed. When choosing sets and reps, the progression for beginners is to start with 1 to 2 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions. Moderate to advanced individuals, it's recommended 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 15 repetitions, depending on your goals. Do you want to grow your muscles or tone your muscles? During aerobic training, it is recommended to train at moderate to vigorous intensity. Intensity is measured subjectively, unlike resistance training. Here are 3 ways to measure your intensity. The talk test. If you can carry on a conversation but are too out of breath to sing, you are working at a moderate intensity level. If it is difficult to speak in complete sentences, you are at a vigorous intensity level. The rate of perceived exertion scale. Moderate should feel like you are working around a level 4 to 6 on the scale. Vigorous should feel like you are working around a level 7 to 9. Intensity based on heart rate or target heart rate. Following the equation, you can choose to perform within the percentage range or choose a specific percentage within that range. Either way, during your aerobic activity, check your heart rate periodically and make sure you are where you want to be. Moderate intensity is 50 to 70% of your max heart rate. Vigorous is 70 to 85%. Heart rate and calories burned go hand in hand. Although calories burned also depends on other factors like age, weight, and gender, in general, working at a higher intensity increases your heart rate, which increases calorie expenditure. Any amount of time spent exercising helps. Even 10 minutes can work to improve your health. Aerobic training has 2 avenues. For heart benefits, do at least 30 minutes a day, 5 days per week. For weight loss goals, perform up to 60 minutes a day, 5 days per week. Resistance training can be anywhere from 15 minutes to 60 minutes. Use as much time as you need to perform your planned resistance training workout. All activity counts, whether you are running or walking, using body weight for resistance or a heavy dumbbell. You are working to improve your fitness and health. For more understanding of the types of training, let's break them down a bit. Aerobic activity improves body composition and cardiorespiratory endurance. Resistance training improves muscular strength, endurance, and muscle definition. Stretching improves range of motion and flexibility. Neuromuscular activity improves balance, agility, and proprioception. Here's the bottom line. Number 1, keep it simple. There are different types of workouts that you can include into your weekly workout plan. Strength training, yoga, or even specialty styles like high-intensity interval training, kickboxing, or German volume training. Find what you enjoy most and roll with it. Again, keep it simple and refer to the FIT principle to help you develop your weekly training strategy. Give it a try, and remember, you can always reach out to one of us, your well-being specialists, to help you build a plan. Number 2, don't skip on rest and recovery days. Strive to be physically active most days of the week while incorporating those well-needed rest and recovery days. Lastly, you can alternate aerobic training days with resistance training days and still accommodate your body's need for rest and recovery. Under the Files tab of the Transformation Yammer page, find the...
All right. Yeah, so nice little overview there that covers a few different things, a bunch of things. The FIT principle is kind of the primary takeaway as you move into building your workout plan throughout the week. Again, frequency, intensity, time, and type of workout. As you saw throughout that video, I had a couple sample exercise schedules or plans that might be just good to kind of build your own schedule off of. At the end of this presentation within the slide deck, I also created 6 others for you to use and kind of, either use directly or to just kind of use as, templates, if you will. So what I'm going to move into is just kind of re-detailing what I kind of mentioned in that video in regard to aerobic exercise. So with aerobic exercise, there's a lot of benefits to it. And that is, as the bullet points show, there's, the improved cardiovascular conditioning. So that element of stamina. And then some of the other things that are just benefits with your health in general, lowering blood pressure, increasing the HDL cholesterol, that good cholesterol, helping with controlling blood sugar, improving lung function, and decreasing resting heart rate. All are good benefits of incorporating some sort of aerobic type exercise. So in this little tree graph here, I somewhat broke down the aspects of cardiovascular training. So cardio, which we typically say, or a term that we use, is kind of a catch-all term that refers to any activity that increases your heart rate and respiration while using large muscle groups repetitively and rhythmically. When we talk about cardio, most people are referring to aerobic activities like walking, running, cycling, swimming, stair stepper. And as you saw from in that little video, there was a couple more, even like step aerobics. But there is that kind of other aspect of cardiovascular training, which is that anaerobic training. We're not going to talk much about that other than what you see here. Aerobic is with oxygen, typically for a prolonged duration, whereas anaerobic type activities is without oxygen. So short duration, fast, typically at a high intensity like sprinting. Even weightlifting or resistance training is an element of anaerobic training. But like I said, we're focusing on that aerobic training for your workout schedules. So looking at walking, jogging, jump roping, stair stepping, etc. So the recommendations for the frequency, back to that FIT, the F, I guess, the F part of the acronym of the FIT principle. So for the frequency of aerobic training per week. So I know these look like large numbers and a lot of minutes, but if you break this down throughout the week, that's how you'll make it a little more manageable each day. But at a moderate intensity, so that's less than 60% of your maximum heart rate, you're shooting for 150 minutes or some sort of breakdown 5 times per week. Or if you are looking at a little more vigorous, higher intensity type aerobic training, 75 minutes is what you're looking at. So that's just that quick overview of aerobic training. And I'm going to hand it over to Isaac for the remainder of the presentation as he gets into resistance training.
Okay, thanks, Kyle. Yeah, let's get into some of the resistance training aspect to exercise. So resistance training exercises the muscular system by involving all muscle groups and is defined as an exercise that causes the muscles to contract against an external force. So this could involve free weights, maybe what you typically picture when you think of resistance training, of dumbbells, barbells, stuff like that. It can also include resistance training machines. You might see those especially in our wellness centers. We have plenty of those where they're a fixed gear and you just work within that range of motion, that pattern, if you will, for the resistance machines. Also, there are exercise bands, and just your body weight will do, and you'll get great benefits just with body weight form exercises. This is also, resistance training in general can often be overlooked, but it's an essential form of exercise for overall fitness and quality of life. So some of the benefits we see here, resistance training is going to help improve muscle strength and size by making the body physically stronger. A nice little note about that muscular size, increased muscle mass correlates with increased metabolism as well. This is going to overall improve your quality of life by reducing your risk of falls, because it's going to help increase your balance and just have less pain throughout your body. Kyle mentioned earlier, we had a great post on Yammer saying how she was doing those 5 minutes of planks every day. And just by those 5 minutes of resistance training, specifically those planks, she was able to physically notice the changes in her strength and overall like posture. And I believe she even mentioned like she had some pain in her back and whatnot. And I was kind of helping her get out of that pain by increasing that strength. Resistance training also combined with proper nutrition and aerobic training can help with weight management by increasing the number of calories burned, especially at rest due to the recovery process of resistance training. So if you're incorporating resistance training, the recovery is going, when you're at rest, the recovery from that is going to help increase the amount of calories burned because of your body is recovering from breaking down that muscle to help build that muscle back up. All right. And overall, resistance training is going to help improve your strength, endurance, flexibility, and mobility. And this is going to help you with other forms of exercise as well. So I know we said on the chat, running is one of the least favorite points of forms of exercise. But if you are a runner and incorporating some stability and strength training within your routine is going to help you be a better runner. It's going to help you be able to do longer runs, move more efficiently, and decrease your risk of injury. So recommendations for frequency of resistance training. It should be performed 2 to 3 days per week and include multi-joint compound exercises. And that's involving exercises like lunges, squats, push-ups, maybe some sort of pressing motion, pulling overall motion that's going to move multiple joints for the exercise. For general health, each muscle group should be trained 2 to 4 sets for 8 to 12 reps and take about 60 seconds to 2 minutes between each set throughout your routine. And we're going to now touch on to some different rep ranges depending on what your goal is. You can see here, and I won't go in super big detail about this, but because once you have access to these slides, you can kind of go over and piece together what you want to do. But you can see that there's muscular endurance, hypertrophy, so overall muscle size, and then strength and power. And each of those different forms have a recommended set total and repetition total. A good rule of thumb is if you're looking for more endurance and I guess stability, you're going to want to do lighter weights, higher reps. But if you're looking to overall increase your power, increase like maximal strength, you're going to want to do more sets, less reps and weight within those sets. Or sorry, more weight. Am I saying that right, Kyle?
Yeah, so muscular endurance, the typical is, yes, you had that right with lightweight, high repetitions. That's just general fitness as well. And then the strength side of things is that higher weight, lower repetitions.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't want to get twisted with my words there because it's valuable.
You're good.
So yeah, that is what we'll recover here with the resistance training and whatnot. And you can go back to these slides once you gain access to kind of piece together what kind of routine you want to make for yourself, depending on that. Some to also touch on with the frequency of resistance training is if you're trying to really increase that strength, I would recommend that 2 to 3 days a week. If you're just trying to gain some added stability, some maybe just maintenance, go to that. You could probably get away with 1 to 2 days a week for that. So on to stretching and flexibility. This is another area that I didn't want to have us go over and not touch on because it can get overlooked as well. Like aerobic and resistance training, stretching is a form of physical exercise that involves moving a specific body part in a deliberate range to release tension within that muscle or soft tissue associated with that. Always stretching exercise should be performed into a range of motion that is for you. So just working within that range of motion that your body is providing you at the time, and not trying to overdo it, being gentle with those stretches. And you'll notice over time that as you keep doing that, your range of motion will increase. So the benefits of stretching, maintaining and improving mobility and range of motion is going to help with, like strength training, your overall pain and quality of life, because it's going to help your entire body move better. And if you're moving better, you're going to in turn feel better. So an example would be if you're in front of a computer all day, which a lot of us are, you're going to have a lot of tension in those shoulders, a lot of tension in that neck, maybe even get some headaches from that tension. Just trying to incorporate some stretching within that is going to help relieve some of that tension throughout that neck and headaches and shoulders and whatnot. And if you're feeling better because of that, you're overall going to be living a happier, healthier life. Stretching will also reduce your risk of injury because of that improved mobility. And overall, it's just a great way to take a break and mental pause throughout your workday. In a couple slides here, I provided a link to our flex breaks that take place Monday through Thursday, and also to our YouTube channel. If you're not really sure what stretches to do, but you want to incorporate some, we can just kind of guide you through that with those services that we provide. So the recommendations and frequency of stretching: before and after exercise is always recommended, and then 2 to 3 days a week. Kind of follows along with that strength training example of, if you're really wanting to increase your range of motion, your flexibility, I would recommend 2 to 3 times a day. If you're just trying to maintain, add a little bit more range of motion within your movements, you could get away with that 1 to 2 times a day, especially for that maintenance phase of flexibility training. And so for our types of flexibility training, I think I just saw in the chat someone asked about dynamic stretching, so that's great. We're getting to that now. You can see the 3 different things, 3 different types that I've highlighted here. We have static stretching, foam rolling, and dynamic stretching. Static stretching is probably that form of stretching that you think of when you think of flexibility, is that holding that muscle to the near furthest point and holding that thing, or that stretch for about 30 seconds at a minimum. That research has shown that 30 seconds is very important for actually creating change within your muscle and joint. And that is often recommended after exercise, because that's going to help aid with the recovery of said exercise. Foam rolling is, you've probably seen those foam rollers around now. You're moving that foam roller along your muscle, targeting areas of tension. That could be used post or pre-exercise, and you could do that throughout the day as well. It can be overdone, but it's often recommended for sure pre or post exercise is good to do. And then dynamic stretching. This is more of that active range, that active stretch. Research has shown that dynamic stretching helps improve your power for your workout or whatever you're about to do. So that is often recommended for pre-exercise, and just one set of 6 to 12 repetitions per muscle group is fine. And examples of certain stretches are arm circles, push-ups, body weight squats, hip swings, walking toe touches, high knees, hamstring curls. Anything that is a lower impact full body movement is going to help with creating more mobility for your exercise, for your workout that you're about to do. So yeah, there's our flex breaks opportunities. You can see here, you can add this to your calendar or watch on our YouTube channel if you're not sure what kind of stretches and stuff you want to do. There's plenty of examples, and then you can join Kyle. What greater thing to join Kyle for your flex breaks every Monday through Thursday. Can't think of anything better than that. So yeah, there's our resistance training flexibility. And for our week 4 homework and 5 minutes of fitness, you probably can guess your homework is to create an exercise schedule for the remainder of the program. And for our fitness, our 5 minutes of fitness challenge, we're calling it Fusion Confusion, and it's using previous week's exercises to help build a 5-minute routine. We provided different formats for if you're a beginner, intermediate, and advanced on how you want to go about doing those exercises. But I also encourage you to take those 5 minutes and maybe just include that into your 30 minutes of exercise, 3 to 7 times a week, just to put that in there, add some variety within your own routine. You can also take that 5 minutes and do multiple sets of it to have that be your 30 minutes. Maybe you want to do like 5 sets of that 5 minutes. There's 25 minutes, and their last 5 minutes could be some flexibility training, stretches and stuff like that. So just trying to provide some multiple examples of that. And then we have provided here these next 3 slides. You can kind of look into more detail once you have access to the slides, but just some examples on how you might want to go about creating those exercise schedules. We have provided 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, just depending on what your goals are for the program and for yourself. Different examples on how to incorporate exercise schedules for yourself. So